Ryan Parker seemed to have everything: a thriving career as the CEO of Parker Enterprises, wealth, and the respect of those around him. Yet deep down, his life felt incomplete. At night, as he returned to his sprawling but empty penthouse, the silence only amplified his loneliness. His father, Richard Parker, never missed a chance to remind him of the one thing missing: a wife. "Ryan, you've achieved so much," Richard often said during their weekly dinners. "But the Parker name needs stability. You need someone by your side." For the family and the company, the constant pressure weighed heavily on Ryan. He had seen too many relationships falter because of his wealth and status. People seemed more interested in his money than in the real him. To escape the judgment and expectations, Ryan made an unusual decision. He created an anonymous profile on a dating app under the name Jake. Elsewhere, Maya Lewis was also searching for connection. As a talented but struggling interior designer, Maya poured her heart into her work, dreaming of landing a major project that would finally showcase her abilities. However, her personal life felt empty. Longing for companionship, she joined the same dating app, hoping to meet someone who would truly understand her. Neither Ryan nor Maya knew that their lives were about to become intertwined in the most unexpected way. Ryan and Maya began chatting on the dating app, never imagining that a few simple messages would soon weave a bond between two seemingly distant lives. Using his alias, Jake, Ryan was immediately drawn to Maya's warmth and sincerity. Her humor and unapologetic authenticity made her stand out from anyone he had ever met. One night, after a particularly long conversation, Maya shared a memory about designing her first ever project, a small cafe that became a local favorite. Her voice was filled with pride and nostalgia, and Ryan couldn't help but admire her passion. To Maya, Jake was the first person who truly listened, a man she could share her life, work struggles, and secret dreams with without fear of judgment. Their late-night conversations quickly became a cherished routine. Ryan felt a connection he hadn't experienced in years, while Maya found comfort in knowing there was someone who genuinely cared about her. One evening, after weeks of exchanging messages, Ryan decided to take a leap of faith. "What do you think about meeting in person? These messages feel like they're not enough anymore." Maya hesitated for a moment. Meeting someone from the virtual world was always risky, but her intuition told her Jake was someone she could trust. "All right," she replied with a smile, her heart racing with anticipation. However, just before their planned meeting, Maya received an unexpected email, a job interview invitation from Parker Enterprises, the very opportunity she had been waiting for to elevate her career. She knew she had to postpone the meeting to prioritize this pivotal moment in her life. On the morning of her interview, Maya walked into the towering Parker Enterprises building with a mix of excitement and nervousness. This was the opportunity she had been waiting for, and she knew she had to make an impression. Meanwhile, Ryan was in his top-floor office reviewing his day's schedule when he paused at a name: Maya Lewis. The name struck a chord, but he dismissed the thought until the interview began. As Maya entered the room, carrying a portfolio filled with her best designs, their eyes met, and both froze in shock. Maya immediately recognized Jake, the man she had confided in every night, the man she trusted, was actually Ryan Parker, the CEO of the company she was interviewing for. Ryan, equally stunned, realized that Maya, the woman who had captured his attention and heart, was now standing before him as a job candidate. The air in the room grew heavy with tension. Maya felt her chest tighten, a wave of betrayal washing over her as she stared at Ryan in disbelief. The man she had trusted, the man she thought she knew, was standing before her as the CEO of Parker Enterprises. Ryan, on the other hand, struggled to maintain his composure, his fingers gripping the edge of his desk. "Please, have a seat," Ryan said, his voice steady, though his eyes betrayed his inner turmoil. The interview proceeded, but Maya found it difficult to focus. Questions about her skills and experience faded into the background as she grappled with the realization of Jake's true identity. Finally, the interview concluded, and Maya left the office, her emotions in turmoil. Ryan, on the other hand, remained standing, watching her leave, unable to shake the guilt and confusion. Both of them knew, from that moment on, their relationship would never be the same. Maya received the notification that she had been hired at Parker Enterprises, a moment that should have brought her joy. Yet, the confusion surrounding her relationship with Ryan made everything more complicated. Working under him, the man she had trusted and admired as Jake was proving to be a daunting challenge. Ryan, though attempting to maintain a professional distance, couldn't help but keep an eye on Maya. He often checked on her projects, giving overly critical feedback to mask his true feelings. Maya, feeling the weight of his harsh comments, resolved to prove her worth without relying on anyone's approval. One evening, Maya stayed late at the office, focused on perfecting a design for a major project. She was so engrossed in her work that she didn't notice Ryan entering the room. He quietly placed a cup of coffee on her desk, breaking the silence. "Don't overwork yourself," Ryan said, his tone softer than usual. Maya glanced at him, keeping her composure. "If I don't give it my all, I won't earn opportunities like this." Ryan remained silent, a flicker of regret crossing his face. Instead of responding, he turned and walked away, leaving Maya with a mix of emotions she couldn't quite decipher. Eventually, Maya reached her breaking point. The ambiguity between them was too much to bear. One day, after a team meeting, she confronted Ryan in his office. "Why did you do it? You knew who I was but chose to hide your identity," she said, her voice trembling. Ryan sighed, setting his pen down on the desk. "I was afraid that if you knew who I was from the start, everything would change. But everything I said to you, every feeling I shared, was real." Ryan's words left Maya conflicted. Though she was angry and hurt, she couldn't deny the lingering connection between them and the memories they had built. After her confrontation with Ryan, Maya felt a sense of relief but remained conflicted. His admissions showed his sincerity, but the wounds of betrayal lingered. Determined to move forward, Maya threw herself into her work, using it as an escape from her complicated emotions. Ryan, eager to prove he wasn't just making empty promises, decided to entrust Maya with a major project, redesigning the entire interior of a new Parker Enterprises branch. "This project is yours," he said during a meeting. "I believe you have what it takes to make it a success." Maya was initially surprised, but she quickly realized this was her chance to shine. She worked harder than ever, leading her team, presenting innovative ideas, and refining every detail of her designs. Meanwhile, Ryan's behavior began to change. He no longer offered harsh critiques, but instead provided constructive feedback, occasionally even praising Maya in front of her colleagues. "Your work is impressive," he said during a presentation. "I knew you'd do well." Though their relationship remained professional, small moments, like the way Ryan's gaze lingered on Maya during meetings, or his subtle compliments, hinted at his quiet support. One evening, as Maya worked late at the office, Ryan stopped by with 2 cups of coffee. "I just wanted to make sure you had the energy to finish your designs," he said with a faint smile. Maya looked at him, noticing a distinct change in his demeanor. Ryan was no longer the distant, critical boss she once knew. Instead, he was someone genuinely trying to rebuild trust, a small but meaningful step. After starting to rebuild their trust, Ryan and Maya decided to spend time together outside the workplace. Initially, their dates were a little awkward, but over time, they grew more comfortable with each other. For their first date, Ryan invited Maya to dinner at a small lakeside restaurant. The quiet ambiance and soft candlelight reflected off the water, creating a romantic atmosphere. During dinner, Ryan listened attentively as Maya talked about her work and the dreams she had never shared with anyone. "When I design, it feels like I'm breathing life into a space," she said, her eyes lighting up. Ryan's undivided attention made Maya feel truly understood. Their later dates became even more relaxed and intimate. They took walks in the park, chatting under the shade of towering trees. One afternoon, Ryan brought Maya to a quaint cafe he frequented. Sitting by the window, they laughed over life's little quirks. Maya realized that when she was with Ryan, she didn't have to pretend or prove herself. He made her feel like she could be her true self, authentic, free, and genuinely cared for. Ryan, too, noticed a shift within himself. When he was with Maya, he no longer felt like the demanding CEO who had to uphold a certain image. Instead, he found himself enjoying the simple, meaningful moments they shared. One evening, as they watched the sunset from a hilltop, Ryan suddenly said, "Maya, being around you makes everything feel easier. You make me see life in a way I never thought possible." Maya smiled and replied softly, "And being with you makes me feel like I can be myself." They gazed at each other, feeling a profound connection that needed no further words. Maya successfully completed the interior design project for the new branch, exceeding all expectations. During the final presentation to the leadership team, she confidently outlined her ideas, explaining how the design not only delivered aesthetic value, but also created a user-friendly environment. When she finished, the room erupted in applause. Ryan stood up, his gaze filled with pride as he looked at Maya. "This is one of the best projects we've ever had. It's all thanks to Maya's leadership and creativity," he said. Ryan's public praise moved Maya deeply, making her realize that the trust between them was gradually being rebuilt. A few days later, Ryan invited Maya on a short trip to Santorini, the dream destination she had once mentioned in their conversations. Though hesitant at first, Maya agreed. In Santorini, Ryan arranged a romantic dinner at a seaside restaurant under the glow of the sunset. The atmosphere was serene and filled with warmth. After dinner, he took Maya's hand, his eyes filled with sincerity. "Maya, you've changed my life in ways I never imagined. I admire your talent, but I love you for who you are," he said. Ryan got down on one knee and pulled out a small box containing a simple yet elegant ring. "I know things haven't been easy between us, but I want us to start fresh. Will you be my partner in life?" Maya looked at him, tears streaming down her cheeks. "Yes, I will," she replied with a radiant smile. They embraced under the setting sun, marking a pivotal moment in their journey of love. A few months later, Maya and Ryan held an intimate wedding in a flower-filled garden, surrounded by family and close friends. Maya wore an elegant yet simple white dress, while Ryan donned a perfectly tailored suit, his eyes never leaving hers. "When you walked into my life, everything changed in ways I never expected," Ryan whispered as Maya walked down the aisle. "And you showed me that trust can be rebuilt if both people are willing to try," Maya replied, her eyes sparkling with joy. The ceremony was filled with laughter and heartfelt blessings, marking the beginning of a new chapter in their lives. When the officiant declared, "I now pronounce you husband and wife," Ryan gently kissed Maya, and applause and laughter erupted throughout the garden. That evening, after the wedding festivities had ended, Ryan and Maya stepped outside into the garden under a sky full of stars. He held her hand tightly, smiling. "Maya, did you ever think all of this would come from a dating app?" he asked, his voice filled with a mix of wonder and gratitude. She laughed softly, resting her head on his shoulder. "Maybe it was all meant to be, Ryan. Meeting you felt like fate, and now, standing here with you, I know that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be." Ryan kissed her forehead gently. "With you, Maya, I've found more than I ever thought possible. I've found home." They stood there, hand in hand, ready to face the future. Together, they knew there was no challenge they couldn't overcome. After their wedding, Ryan and Maya's life was filled with joy and love. They shared every moment, from peaceful breakfasts in their sunlit kitchen to evening strolls under the stars. Maya continued her work as an interior designer, while Ryan remained busy as the CEO, yet they always prioritized time for each other, keeping their love as strong as it was on their wedding day. A year later, Maya found out she was pregnant. The moment she told Ryan became one of the most beautiful memories of their life. Ryan was working in his home office when Maya walked in carrying a small box. He opened it to find a tiny white baby onesie with the words, "Daddy's little girl," written on it. Ryan looked up, his eyes sparkling with happiness. "Really, Maya?" he asked, his voice trembling with emotion. Maya nodded, her smile radiant. Ryan embraced her tightly, whispering, "You've just made me the happiest man in the world." 9 months later, they welcomed their daughter Emma on a gentle morning. When Ryan held Emma for the first time, tears filled his eyes. Maya, lying in her hospital bed, looked at him and said, "This is the start of a new chapter in our lives." Together, they cared for Emma, cherishing every smile and every cry. Ryan often spent hours playing with Emma, while Maya poured her creativity into designing the perfect nursery for their little girl. Their home was filled with laughter and love, and each passing day deepened their appreciation for the journey that brought them together. One afternoon, as the family sat together in the garden, Ryan looked at Maya and Emma, his heart brimming with contentment. "I never thought I could be this happy," he said, holding Maya's hand. Maya smiled, glancing at their sleeping daughter in her arms. "This is the greatest gift life could give us, Ryan. We're a family, and that's all I'll ever need." Life as a family wasn't always smooth for Ryan and Maya, but the small challenges only strengthened their bond. Emma, their firstborn daughter, became their pride and greatest joy. Emma grew into a curious and lively child. By the time she turned 2, Maya noticed Emma's budding love for art. The little girl would sit for hours beside Maya as she worked, clutching her tiny crayons to scribble on sheets of paper. Ryan, despite his busy schedule, always made time in the evenings to play with Emma. They would build castles out of toy blocks on the living room floor or cuddle up to read bedtime stories. Though their home was filled with love and laughter, life wasn't without its challenges. There were nights when Emma ran a high fever, and Maya stayed by her bedside while Ryan called the doctor, unable to hide his worry. These moments reminded them that family meant facing everything together, no matter how tough it seemed. Ryan began adjusting his priorities, managing his time better to leave work earlier and dedicate weekends to his wife and daughter. One day, as the three of them sat together on the couch, Emma suddenly looked up and said, "I love Mommy and Daddy the most in the whole world." Her innocent declaration made both Ryan and Maya burst into laughter, their eyes filled with pure happiness. Maya continued her design work, but now carefully selected projects to ensure she had more time with Emma. She and Ryan also started discussing the idea of expanding their family. "What do you think about giving Emma a sibling?" Maya asked one evening as they watched a cartoon with Emma. Ryan chuckled, his eyes warm. "I think it would be the perfect gift for all of us." Their home was always filled with laughter and simple, unforgettable moments. Maya and Ryan knew that no matter what challenges life brought, they had each other to lean on, just as they always had since the very beginning.